Welcome to another episode of NFL Bets. It's week 4, and let's look at the current status. We have Jason in the lead with 27 out of 18 picks. I'm trailing him at 24 out of 21. Peter's right behind, even at 23-23, and then Chris is at 20-28. Once again, follow Jason. He told me, I think, that he just started picking the opposite of what he thought would be the case, and that's been working out better for him, which is a really galaxy brain way of looking at it.
Hey, whatever gets you on a hot streak. I will say, though, I think we got to congratulate ourselves. Week 1 was brutal for all of us, but the past 2 weeks, we've all improved, I think. Week 2 is a little better, but, still decent picks for week 3.
Let's just say I'm doing better with my Raven stack in fantasy than I am my picks. But there's plenty of time. Season's long. It'll be good.
That it is. Gosh, and there's a lot of interesting lines this week. I'm looking at it, and we'll go through them, but I think there's a lot of tough ones to call this week.
For sure. Let's start with the first one, which might be a tough one. Miami is visiting Cincinnati on Thursday night. The line is Cincinnati -4. I like taking home teams in this kind of event on Thursday nights. So I'm going to go with Cincinnati, but not enthusiastically.
Yeah, this one's really tough. We know that the Dolphins are aggressive on defense. Burrow's already been sacked 15 times, I believe, this year. So much for their revamped offensive line, at least early returns. Yeah, neutral site, I would take Miami, but Thursday night travel, who knows how healthy Tua is. I take Cincinnati, but not confidently.
I'll flip it around. Yeah, I'll go Miami. As much as it pains me to say it, because I'm still a little sore from losing to them, their defensive line and pass rush is just doing really, really well. So, I'll pick them.
Next up, we got a fun game in London, I believe. Minnesota technically at New Orleans for scheduling purposes. Minnesota 2.5 favorite, and I'm just going to take New Orleans because it's London and anything can happen.
Yeah. I'll go Minnesota there. I just think that they're the better team, particularly with the Jameis situation.
What about the Vikings Kirk Cousins situation?
Dude, he's terrible, but Jameis is pretty bad too.
Yeah. I don't even know if either of these teams played in London before. I have no idea. If it was Jacksonville, it'd be hands down Jacksonville because for whatever reason, they're just great. But I was going to go with Minnesota. I'm going to stick with that.
I think Cousins likes scones.
Sounds about right.
All right, next one. So we've got Jacksonville at Philadelphia. Philadelphia favored by 6.5 points. You know what? Philadelphia is playing really great ball, and I think it could go either way. I'm going to go Jacksonville with this one. I think that they might be a dark horse team here. I like them to pull the upset, or at least cover.
I'm also going Jacksonville here because I think that it's too big of a line for how good both teams are playing.
Yeah, Philadelphia looks really, really good, but Jacksonville's definitely on the ascendancy, and I think Philly will win this game, but I don't think they win by that much, so I'll take Jacksonville as well. And then next up, we've got the Jets at the Steelers. Steelers are favored by 3. Presumably, Zach Wilson will be making his first start of the 2022 regular season this game. Pittsburgh did not look good against Cleveland on Thursday night, but the Jets have not looked good all this year. So I think I'm going to take Pittsburgh here. I think the defense will have some success here in getting to Wilson, making his life difficult. So I'll take Pittsburgh.
Yep, me too. I'm taking Pittsburgh. I think that the team is just slightly better than the Jets. They have the home field advantage at the now defunct Heinz Field. So, yeah, give me Pittsburgh there.
I think I've picked Pittsburgh the last 2 weeks, and they've both been wrong, so I'm going to go the other team this week. I'm going to go Jets. All right, next one we've got let's see, Chicago at the New York Giants. Giants favored by 3. Um, you know what? I think I might go Giants here. I think that they've been doing okay. Both these teams a little middling, I think, for me, but I feel kind of good about picking the Giants for this matchup.
The deciding factor for me is just that the Chicago Bears defense is just getting gashed on the ground. The Giants lost Sterling Shepard on Monday Night Football. They really have no receivers to feel confident about, but Saquon's rejuvenated. I think he's going to run all over Chicago, and that's going to be enough for the Giants to pull ahead big in this one.
Yep, that was my thought as well. I'm taking the Giants here, riding on Saquon. They only know receivers. Next up, we've got Cleveland visiting Atlanta. Cleveland is a 1.5-point favorite. I'm going to go with Atlanta to upset them. I like the team. Give me some Drake London action. Give me some Cordell Patterson action. Give me some Pitts action. I think they can go ahead and Cleveland looks more efficient than ever with Brissett, but I think Atlanta could do an upset here.
Yeah, this is a really tough one to call. I'm going to go with Cleveland. They seem like they might have figured some things out against Pittsburgh. Don't feel confident about it, but I think they're a slightly more complete team than Atlanta. It'll be interesting to see where this game is played. I haven't heard anything about this one potentially being moved. I know it's in a dome, but if that region gets hit by the hurricane, you would think that they wouldn't want to keep people around there. But I don't know. You've heard the Tampa game getting moved. They're talking about moving the Mets-Braves baseball series this weekend. I haven't heard anything about this game, so I guess they'll be in Atlanta.
Yeah, interesting point. Yeah, I'm with you, Peter. I just think Cleveland's a little bit more of a complete team right now, so I'm going to go Cleveland with you. All right, next one we've got up, Washington at Dallas. I feel like I talked about this last week, or the week before, these NFC East matchups. For me, like, they can go any way. Those games always seem close and sometimes lopsided at the same time. Neither of these teams for me really are any good. I don't know. I feel like I want to pick Dallas, but I know that they don't have Dak, so like maybe Washington, and I feel really dirty picking them.
Yeah. I think I'm going with Dallas, despite the fact that they're not going to have Dak again this week. It sounds like so. Their side still has Wentz, and I don't know. I think Dallas can find a way to get it done, based off what I've been seeing lately.
I think Cooper Rush is doing just enough to lead that offense competently, and the rushing attack of Zeke and Pollard looked good on Monday night. In Washington, another team struggling to stop the run, so I'll take Dallas. And then speaking of teams that are struggling to stop the run, Houston just got gashed by Chicago for 281 rushing yards. They're by far and away giving up the most rushing yards in the league this season. The line on this one's really interesting. So, again, because Houston is so porous against the run, and the Chargers obviously have the injury to Herbert that he's either going to play through or Chase Daniel's going to play, you would think they would run the ball a lot. And if they do, that line actually might be a little high, even at 5.5. So I think the Chargers win, but I don't think it's going to be a very high-pace game. And somehow the Texans have been hanging around in these games, so I'm actually going to take Houston to cover here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take I might take the Chargers. That's a good point, Peter. Yeah, I could definitely see this one going either way, but it also wouldn't surprise me if the Chargers really want to get back from that hard game that they had against Jacksonville the other week. So
I'm going to also go with the Chargers. I think they're just clearly a better team, even with the Herbert injury, and I think that they will win by a touchdown. The next game is the Seahawks facing the Detroit Lions. The Lions are favored by 4 points. What a world that we're in. The Lions finally being favored. And you know what? They're going to go do it. I believe in golf. I believe in their whole operation, even without maybe the Sun God and Swift. But I think that they'll figure out a way to come out ahead. They're just a tough football team. So give me Detroit.
I gotta go the same, man. I'm actually looking back at it. Let's see, we picked Detroit the last 2 weeks, and then week 1, none of us actually picked Detroit against Philadelphia, but they did cover. So, I mean, if we had picked Detroit 3 weeks in a row, that's money right there. So I'm gonna I'm gonna keep that up. I'm gonna go Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit's offense has been great to start the year, and their defense has been limiting big plays from star wide receivers. I think you put those two together, and the fact that Seattle's not exactly clicking on all cylinders, and you got to take Detroit to at least cover this game. Next up is a very interesting divisional battle, at least from trying to pick who's going to win. I don't know if necessarily from a game perspective. We got the Titans at Indianapolis. Indianapolis favored by 3, so this is essentially a toss-up. I guess I got to give some respect to the Colts. You know, they beat Kansas City at Indianapolis. We gave that game all of 10 seconds of airtime last week in our analysis. I think, not super high on either of these teams, but it's at home, and I like Indy slightly better.
This is a trash game. I do not want to pick it. I'm going to go with Tennessee to cover.
I'm with Peter on this one. I'm going to go Indianapolis as well. All right. Should we even do this one? Buffalo, Baltimore. I mean, you guys, hopefully you heard the episode of us doing the Bills preview. Pretty sure all of us picked Baltimore to win, but I guess if you want to change your answer now, you're more than welcome. But for me, I'm going to go Baltimore.
Give me them Ravens, hon. I think the key to know about this game is that it could be a really wet mess, and I'm just not sure what that's going to be. It could be windy too, like gale force winds. I got the notification for. So like, if it becomes the situation in what do you call it, New England, where they decided to pass only 4 times and we just had the most dominant run game ever. If I have to pick a run game, I'm clearly picking ours. We got Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and plus all the injuries that Buffalo has on defense. They actually have more injuries than we do. So yeah, I think the Ravens to at least cover that.
This game is bonkers to me, guys. Arizona visiting the Carolina Panthers, and the Panthers are actually favored by 1.5. What a disaster the Arizona Cardinals have turned into to be not even favored in this matchup. Carolina has looked very middling. I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals.
The Carolina offense is so bad, but the Arizona defense is so bad too. Carolina's defense has been okay, and at some point Baker has to realize he can just dump the ball off to Christian McCaffrey and good things will happen. At some point the coaching staff has to make him realize that. So I'm actually going to take Carolina here.
Yeah, I don't want to put a bet on this game at all. I don't like either of these teams. I want to pick Arizona. Offense, I think it could clearly be better. They just need to figure things out. So I'll go Arizona. All right, the next one, we've got New England at Green Bay. Green Bay favored by 9.5. I think the largest spread of the week. I don't remember if we've heard an official thing on Mac Jones, but I know certainly at the end of the game
He's
last week.
day-to-day.
Day-to-day? Okay.
Belichick said that like 12 times or whatever in his press conference today.
Yeah, classic Belichick.
Great. I'm gonna go Green Bay on this one. I think it's a big question mark. Maybe if we find more information about Mac at the end of the week, might be different. But I'm gonna go Green Bay with this one.
Green Bay has this awful anemic offense that makes me curious if they will even score 10 points. That said, New England, I think this game's going to be a slog. It's going to be low scoring. I would take the under, but I think Green Bay will find a way to win by 10. Just the way it will shake out.
Interesting. I feel like everything you're saying is pointing to Green Bay not being able to cover. I'm going to take New England. Hoyer's a very competent backup. I think, heck, their offense might actually be more effective with him than the way Jones has been struggling this year. And Patriots defense, say what you will about their offense. Their defense is good. I don't think the Packers are quite ready to win a game against an opponent that's not, like the Chicagos and the Houstons by that much yet. And then next up, we have another team that's struggling, the Broncos, going to Las Vegas. And you know what? I understand Denver's offense is struggling. The Raiders' defense is struggling a ton as well. I think that spread is oh, wait a second. The Raiders are favored in this game?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm definitely taking the Broncos here. The Raiders' defense is just so bad. I don't care how much Denver's offense is struggling. I think they'll win by more than that.
I'll pick the home team, Vegas.
You can give them their first win? Not me. Give me Denver. I mean, like, it's crazy to me that Denver is so bad, but I think in this game, I'm going to go with them.
Are you sure you copy that over? Vegas is really favored in that game.
I will double check.
That blows my mind if that's the case.
Yep, Vegas is favored.
Wow.
Yep. And the over-under is 45.5. They think they'll actually be able to score. Wild.
All right, we'll see what happens.
This line was the one that got me. Kansas City visiting Tampa Bay. Kansas City is a 1-point favorite. Kansas City, go win this game by more than 1 point. The geriatric Tom Brady cannot do it.
I'm going to go KC as well. I think that they really could use a bounce back game after last week's loss to the Colts. So I like them here.
Bucks offensive line is in shambles. All their receivers are, on the mend. KC, whether this game is played in Tampa or Minneapolis. Which brings us to our last game of the week. Instead of the dud we got last weekend for Monday Night Football, or this week rather, we got the Rams at San Francisco. San Francisco is favored by 1.5, and I think that looks good. San Francisco has given the Rams a lot of fits over the past few seasons. The Rams are struggling right now. San Francisco is doing okay, even though Lance is out for the year. I'll take San Francisco very comfortably here.
Did we watch the same game, dude? San Francisco looks so bad. I know the Rams are looking bad, but I feel like they look especially bad. I'm taking the Rams.
I'm with you, Alec. I think I'm going to take the Rams as well.
Well, there you have it, guys. We picked them yet again. We'll see if if we know what we're talking about. I think we have enough variance between us that surely someone's going to come out ahead.
We got a lot of difference this week in the picks.
Yeah, you would think that somebody's going to have a nice week, given all this. So, pick your favorite, or just pick Jason. Up to you. And we'll see you next week.